Hello everyone, it's Jamie and welcome back to my channel and welcome to another cross-stitching update video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the project that I worked on over the last week and a half. It is currently Tuesday, November, what day is it? The 25th, I think. And I have not filmed at all since my last video, which was like a week and a half-ish ago. So I'm going to show you what I worked on and also talk about a change of plans because I had plans of 2 projects that I was going to work on. And I have changed the plans since my last video. So I will show you what I worked on first, which is Autumn Harmony, artwork by Maxine Gadd, charted by Maxine Gadd. And my goal is to finish her this year, and that is still my plan for Autumn Harmony. I still want to get her finished this year. And since my last video, I did, how many stitches? I did 5,767 stitches on Autumn Harmony since my last video. And so far in November, I have done 12,200 stitches on Autumn Harmony. So this is the half of her that I am working on. And you can see that I am making progress on this area here, which I am not enjoying working on. Hold on, let me fix the focus. There we go. So I am not enjoying working on this area with like the grays because it's a totally different color and tone than everything else. So all of these stitches are confetti stitches and it's taking forever. So I worked up there, I did some of that. I think I got a little bit more done on her arm. And then recently in the last few days, I started working on this bottom portion because this is so much easier to stitch because this area is only a few colors and there are less color changes. So I started working down here. So I am making progress. It's going a little slow, but here she is. And I am super excited because I have 11,300 stitches left on Autumn Harmony. So she is getting so much closer to being finished. And like I said, so far in November, I have done 12,200 stitches on her. So that means in December, I should be able to finish those last 11,000 stitches. Plus we still have a few more days left in November for me to work on her. So there's Autumn Harmony. She is on 18 count, 2/1 full cross. And I love her so much. So my change of plans is on my other project I was working on, Drinks on the Beach. I'll insert the artwork. That is the Haid 2025 stitch along. And the chart I was doing is called Drinks on the Beach, artwork by Lars Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I decided that I am not going to try and get the 6 pages finished to get the reward charts, because if you finished 6 pages by the end of the year, you would get all the other charts that were part of the stitch along. And originally I really did want to get those other charts, and then I was thinking about it and I was just like, I don't think I would actually stitch the other charts that were part of the stitch along because there was 2 that I liked. There was one that had a lot of a really light background, and I don't think I would ever stitch that because the background is so boring. And then the other one is I can't remember what it was, but it was like a crop from this chart that was called like Unicorn Valley, Unicorn something. It had unicorn in the name, even though the stitch along artwork had no unicorn because the unicorn was cropped out and it's in the original piece, but it's not in the cropped stitch along version. But I was just like, I don't think I would ever stitch either of those 2 pieces because I have other charts that I already own that I like more. Like I have last year, when I did the Haid 2024 stitch along, I did finish the 4 pages that you needed to finish to get the other stitch along charts. And I like those other charts a lot more because there was like the Amy Stewart mushrooms. I was doing Merry Mushroom Village Picnic number 3, but there was 2 other mushroom charts, and I would much rather stitch those 2 mushroom charts than the charts that are in the 2025 one. So I was just like, why rush to get these other charts that I don't think I would actually stitch, because I like a lot more colorful pieces, and the ones that I liked weren't very colorful. So yeah, I just don't think I would stitch them. And so I decided that I wanted to like take it easy. So that meant that for November, the last part of November, all I've had to work on is Autumn Harmony. And so that's given me more time to work on Autumn Harmony, plus more time to just do other things. So, you know, I've been able to do a little bit more reading and a little bit more like knitting and stuff like that. Also, I really in December was wanting to do some sort of like an advent-y like holiday thing in December, and if I kept on doing Autumn Harmony and Drinks on the Beach, I would not have had the time. And so I was like, let's cut Drinks on the Beach, and that gives me time for doing like an advent thing in December. So I will talk about that real quick. So in December, I am not going to be posting daily videos. I am going to be trying to film daily-ish. I might not film every day. And then I'm just going to put those clips together and post them like once a week or every couple of days whenever I actually have like enough to show, like 15-20 minutes. And my plan in December is I'm going to be working on Autumn Harmony still, trying to get her finished. And then my plan is I have this advent box where you can put anything inside of the little slots. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to have one cross stitch project in each box. And so that way I will get to like start working on more things, because being monogamous long term is not for me. I have been wanting to work on more projects. And another thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be putting like a little scrap yarn. I looked to see if it would fit, and scrap yarn does fit in these boxes. This is enough yarn to either make a square on the knit blanket that I'm making, which is a mitered square blanket, or it's enough yarn for me to make a granny square. And I'm thinking I might do granny squares because I saw a video from someone else I watch on YouTube. Her channel name, I will link it. And her channel name is Michelle, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name exactly. Jasic, I'm not sure. But she is doing a granny square a day in December. And I was thinking about like stealing her idea, because her idea is that instead of making the granny squares all the same size, she is going to be doing different sized granny squares. And she charted the whole thing out so that at the end of the month, you will put it together to make a rectangle. And then her plan is that every year in December, she will do like a little scrap yarn section, and then it will be kind of like an advent blanket that grows every December. And she is actually doing a different color on each row of her granny squares. I don't usually do that. But yeah, I'm trying to get rid of scrap yarn. So I don't like weaving in ends, so that's why I usually don't switch every row of my granny squares. So sometimes I'll just do a granny square that's all one color. Sometimes I'll switch every 2 rows, every 3 rows, whatever. I'm just trying to use the yarn. And so I think I might do her blanket idea though, where the squares will be different sizes, and then you put it together and make like one rectangle that will go towards a blanket. So I think I'm gonna be doing that, which means that I do need to get my little advent calendar put together. I don't have projects in here yet, and I need to pull out all of my yarn scraps so I know exactly what I have. And so yeah, I want to do that in December because I wanted to do something like fun, because it's like I have been working on the same projects for so long that I am ready for a change. So that's coming up in December. I'm looking forward to that. But like I said, the videos won't be posted every day. It'll be like once a week or a couple times a week. There will be videos posted of the projects I pull, what I work on, and if I get some progress done on my granny squares, because I really need to be making my squares with my scrap yarn. I need to use up my scraps. So that's the plan for December. Other things that I worked on, I will talk about very quickly. So I did work a little bit on knitting. I worked on the Snakes and Ladders tank top, which is by Andrea Chang, which I need to go and grab really quick. So here is the Snakes and Ladders tank, which I finally got to the point where I am doing, you start from the bottom. So you start from the bottom, and then once you get to the like underarms, you have to cast off a couple stitches, and then you put the back on a, I have it on a cable because I have the interchangeable needles. So I have it on a different cable, and then you are working on the front and you're doing the arm shaping. So that is what I have done here, is I did my arm shaping, which I actually ended up doing twice because I did not like the way my decreases looked on one side at first. And so then I pulled it all out and then did it again so that it would look better because I wasn't happy with the one side, was not looking very good, because on one side you're doing knit two together and purl two together, and then on the other side you're doing slip slip knit and then slip slip purl, and my slip slip purls were not looking very good. So yeah, I redid that. So I did that twice, which was fun, and now I think I'm at the point where I'm done decreasing, and so I'm just going to be knitting a little bit more until you get to the neckline shaping. So I did make some progress on the tank, which I am excited to finally get a little bit closer. But I'm at a point where the body was mindless knitting, and now I'm at a point where you have to like focus, so it's harder to like take this to like a pick up my kids or something, because I need to actually be looking at the pattern and make sure that I'm doing things correctly for like the shaping and all that. So there's the tank. And for books, I read one book. I've read a few books, but I'm only going to mention like the really good, like standout ones. And so the first one is Murder at the Patel Motel, which is on Audible, and it's one of their like Audible things where it's like a fully it has like a full cast of people, and I really enjoyed it. It's got like the sound effects and everything, and it is like a murder mystery at this motel. There is a man and he goes back to the motel. He hasn't been back in a while, and someone gets murdered and he helps solve the murder. And it's kind of cheesy, you know, like Hallmarky, Lifetime, but I really enjoyed it. I was entertained, and it's fairly short. It was only like 4 hours, so it's not a huge time commitment, but it was really enjoyable. And then the other thing, I haven't listened to it yet, the new one, but there is a new season of Mistletoe Murders, which is also on Audible. And so I need to listen to, I think it's season 4, book 4, however you want to call it. And that is also like a fully cast Audible series, and I really enjoy it. And it's also now a Hallmark show. So I've also been watching the Hallmark show, which Hallmark is, I think, on like season 2, book 2, however you want to refer to it. And I really enjoyed the first 3 Audible books. And so yeah, I'm really enjoying also the Hallmark show, because it's cheesy and good, and you kind of know what to expect, and it's just got a lot of mysteries, holiday mysteries I love. So that is all that I have for this video, and it's kind of short. I didn't play any games, and in terms of reading actual physical books, I am currently still reading Manacled, which is super long, and I am listening to a book called, what is it? A Tree That Grows in Brooklyn, I think is what it's called, but that's also fairly long, so I'm not far enough into it to give any sort of review. But yeah, that's all that I have for this video. There might possibly be one more video before I start my like December, you know, Advent-y videos, but I'm not entirely sure because it's also almost Thanksgiving here in the US. So if you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!